Hey everybody, it is Brooke, and we've completed Buffy the Vampire Slayer Season 6, which means it's time to do a tier list and rank the characters and reflect on the season. If this is your first tier list video with me and you're new here, hi, welcome. I've been reacting to all of Buffy and Angel, and as we do with all of our TV shows, after each season, we do a tier list of the characters that are in the season, and we kind of see how our feelings about them have changed based off their storylines and decisions. My cat's sitting right next to me. I don't think you guys can see her, but she's like, pay attention to me. But it's exciting because we kind of get to go over everything before we hop into the next season. If you are returning, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. I'm happy to see you again. I hope you're excited for more of me probably not changing who I am and what I believe that much. But some characters, it changes, okay? It does. We have to come up with these. This one is always Slay, because, like, Slayer, you have to. This is We Love Them. This is, like, we're cool. Like, we like them. They're fine, but they're not, like, a fave. C is You Did Your Job, which means, like, I understand why you're here. You are valued, but I don't really give a fuck at all. And D is Never Come Back. I never want to see this character again. That could be because of something the character actually did that earned that. Or it could be that character just wasn't very good. Meh. Before we get into it, I always say, remember, it's just a fun TV show. I encourage you to share your opinions in the comments of the characters during Season 6. Remember to try to not let your judgment of what they do in Season 7 cloud. We're focusing just on, like, Season 6, like, who they became in Season 6 and what they did. But also remember to be respectful, because at the end of the day, it's a TV show, and getting mad and calling people names over a TV show is crazy. There's too much shit going on in the world to get mad at people over Buffy the Vampire Slayer character opinions. But I'm really excited just because we're going to enter into the last season now, which is kind of crazy. I don't know what to expect at all. I was not expecting what Season 6 was after Season 5, which is not a bad thing. It's just very interesting. I do wonder if this new darker tone is here to stay, or if because we saw Buffy decide that she wants to live at the end of Season 6, that we are going to go back to a lighter tone. I am not sure. But let's start with our girls. Oh no, it's the face thing. It's the face thing. Is this Amy? Or is this the girl the nerds murdered? Because there are different people, but they have the same face. I think it would be Amy, because the other girl was only in one episode, even though she was a Slay Queen. Amy don't need to come back. Amy could have stayed a rat, bro. I don't need you here, Amy. You pissed me off. You were supposed to be their friend, and then you got Willow, bad addicted to magic. I don't know what happened to you, Amy, but you became a bitch when you came back from being a rat. I liked you better as a rat. I wish you were still a rat. That's all I'm saying. I wish Tara and Willow's missing cat had eaten you. Did not like Amy. I feel like I was excited at first when they brought her back, because I was like, oh my god, Amy's been a rat for so long. And then she was a huge, like, she just caused problems, which were important for the season. I'll give you that, which almost makes you put you in You Did Your Job. But no, bitch, you went too fucking far, and you did your job so well that I never want you to come back. Blonde guy, Andrew, I finally remember his name. Worst of the nerds. Not in, like, quality of person, okay? Warren's the worst person. But, like, the fact I kept forgetting his name, he also was not actually in the show in the high school. They wrote him in to be another character's brother, basically. and like made up a thing for him. I think he had the least put into his personality. And then the writers took the weird thing where then he was suddenly gay at the end. Like, it seemed like they were trying to like be like, haha, it's funny, which is like weird because like early on in this show you had the gay bully character who actually like accepted himself, and it was like great, and you were like, oh, that's like really progressive for how early this show was out. And then like in this one it's like, haha, it's funny because he's gay, and you're like, what? He's gay now and in love with Warren, and that's funny. And I'm like, not really. Like, has very strongly shown he's attracted to women. Like, in a creepy way most of the time as well. I don't know. I was just a little bit like, I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna kind of ignore this because, it's stupid. It's like, no. I was like, thanks. That's not really... Thanks that you made that character go through that storyline the same season as what you did to Tara. Thanks, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. It's just, it feels like a show that was pretty progressively showing queer relationships for the time. There's still the whole thing about, like, Willow has to be a lesbian now and she can't just be, like, bi or whatever. But, and then it, like, you made it the butt of a joke, and I'm like, oh, okay. Whatever, I'm used to that, I guess. So, I didn't like him that much. He was also the most annoying. Like, Warren at least was, like, the head evil, and then Jonathan was maybe flip-floppy, and then this guy was just kind of, like, whiny. I didn't like him. Anya, okay, this is interesting. Because I have to look at it as a season as a whole. Because if it's where she ended up at the end of the season, it's actually Slay for me, which is kind of surprising for Anya. But, like, do I include the first, like, 3/4 of the season where I found her boring, right? Or is it just how I feel about them by the end? But I guess it is overall the end, so I think Anya's Slay, because for her, I felt good about her at first, and then she was bad, and, like, that doesn't get her put up. So I think Anya's Slay. I think Anya's Slay because I felt like writers really didn't know what to do with her and Xander. And then they, like, threw together at the end of last season. They're like, well, we think it's the end, so they're gonna get married. And then they get this new season on this new network, and they're like, fuck. We actually have to go through with that now. And I think they made it pretty clear that this wedding was not gonna go the way Anya wanted. But it was still a little boring in the beginning while we were getting there, because it was kind of just every episode Anya wanting him to tell them they're engaged, and Xander being like, no. And then even once they did tell everyone, it was Anya wanting to plan the wedding, and Xander definitely not being interested in that. And you're just like, okay, I know where this is going. But you finally get to the wedding episode, and it's actually really a good episode. And, like, Anya leaves that episode and becomes a vengeance demon again, and then she goes messy as hell, and it's awesome. And I'm like, yes, Anya, get some fucking storylines. Get some, like, emotions that are not just being in love with Xander or liking money. Like, give Anya, like, flaws that are not just there for comedic effect, but, like, making bad decisions that are story-based and affect us and the characters, and it's awesome. I also kind of love Demon Anya, so I'm kind of here for her, and I'm excited to see what she does in season 7. I assume her and Xander are gonna fall back in love, and, like, Xander is gonna fall in love with a demon and be able to get over his bullshit or whatever. But I'm interested still. Like, I'm interested where their storyline was going. Like, at the end of season 5, I was like, done with them. And I'm interested to see where Anya will go in season 7 now, compared to season 6. I was like, yeah, Anya's still here. So she slays now, and I like her like this. So I'm excited to see where it goes. Buffy, you had a hard fucking season, but I do feel bad for you. I can't put you below Slay. There were times where you stressed me out, but I could understand it, because they put Buffy's character through the fucking ringer this season, dude. And I'm not saying that it's not deserved, right? She's pulled out of, like, the good place and back into the world where she has to fight and see people die, and I get it. Okay, I get it. She's depressed. Buffy's depressed almost this whole fucking season. And most of the time I'm on her side. There's, like, the Dawn stuff where I'm like, did you forget Dawn is alive or exists multiple times in this season? Where I'm like, Buffy, you can't do that and then be mad when, like, Child Protective Services is like, this child needs protecting. Like, you know, but there were parts of her relationship with Spike this season that I found really compelling and interesting, and there were parts that I don't know why they fucking wrote them. I don't really get it. I think Buffy had gone through enough this season. She didn't need to be assaulted. I don't know why that was thrown in there. It was, like, very graphic and very, like, it just wasn't needed. Like, Buffy was sad enough. She'd been through enough this fucking season. It just felt like adding more to the plate in a situation that didn't even make sense. It just felt like they were like, more trauma for Buffy, and didn't, like, think of the ramifications of how, dark and, like, serious that was, which is so weird for this show that used to be, like, it's so weird for a universe where we also had an Angel episode where misogyny was handled, like, and it was shown how much of a monster a misogynist dude was, and it's like, it almost felt like they didn't, in the scene, it felt like the gravity of Spike being an assaulter was there, but afterwards, it, like, Xander threw it in Dawn's face like it was a thing you just say. Like he had any right to, like, share Buffy's shit, which is, like, more when we get to Xander, but, like, I don't know, they treated it weird because they didn't start showing Spike differently after that, right? They were like, Spike is this kind of, he had some creep tendencies, but it's because he's weird, he hasn't been in love in a long time, like, outside of Drew, and, like, but he does feel like he loves Buffy, and, like, she's obviously attracted to him, whether she loves him, we don't know, and then they're like, R word, and you're like, and, like, then they're like, and then he's going off into the sunset, and it's like, you're like, okay, I assumed they were like, oh, no, there's no coming back, right? There's no coming back from attempting to sexually assault someone. You don't come back from that. You're a bad person. You're a monster. Because that is my belief system, and it's also the system the show has showed me. Like, creeps are fucking creeps. You've been showing me all season with Warren and Andrew and Jonathan. Like, they're bad people, they're creeps. Jonathan wants to face the consequences of that. That maybe is a good thing, but it's not going to change the shit he did do. But then Spike is going through all this shit, and I'm like, okay, like, I kind of thought he was going to be gone and then come back super evil with the chip gone. It's like, oh, they're showing the process. Okay. But it didn't feel like when we're watching him in that cave and stuff, like, it feels like you're still supposed to be like, oh, Spike's doing all this cool shit, and we're supposed to support him, and I'm like, why the fuck would I be supporting him right now? And then they're like, oh, he wasn't doing the chip. He was doing it to get his soul back so he can love Buffy. And I'm like, too little too fucking late, motherfucker. What are you talking about? Like, huh? Like, I cannot imagine in season 7, like, how are you gonna try to make that a relationship she can have with him because he has a soul now? I think it's more interesting, I guess, if they explore him getting his soul back and she still don't want him. I think that could be something very interesting to explore and how he'll react to that while having a soul. But if they just make them live happily ever after, I'm gonna be like, ew, no thank you. Sorry, but, like, there are consequences as writers and, like, producers of shows if you make a character so evil that they would do something like that. You cannot expect people to just forgive them. And I know people will. There are Vampire Diaries fans who would die for Damon even after all the shit that character did. That even the actor doesn't like. And it's like, I get it, but I also don't. Because I'm like, this is not a show where everyone is, like, fucked up and, like, we're all evil and doing horrible shit to each other. It's like, there is a sense of good and evil, even if there is a gray area of, like, if you kill people or assault people or eat people or whatever, it's not great. So to then be like, but Spike and Buffy get to live happily, fall in love, and live happily ever after because he has a soul now is like not the message for me, at least. We will have to see. Who knows what they're gonna do? I don't know. That scene kind of like ruined shipping that relationship for me. Because I was like, no, he's a bad guy now. And it feels like they're going to still try to make him a good guy. And I'm like, there's a big difference between Spike being like an asshole, and Spike trying to assault someone. Like, you know what I mean? Even when he was the bad guy, we didn't see him assaulting people. Like, I don't know. I didn't like it. Okay, I just didn't like it. Our flappy-eared kitten eater, we are cool, actually. He grew on me a bit. He was a fun side character. He had that little quest with Dawn in the second to last episode where I had my fucking mic issues. I don't want to talk about it. He was like a buddy sidekick for Spike most of the time, who was a little more silly and brought a little levity to the show. He didn't very much have any other storylines than that, though. But I liked him. I liked him whenever he was on screen. The makeup's crazy. I don't have too much to say. My girl Dawn, forgotten. I don't think people fed you for half of this season. I truly think you survived on your own for most of it. After your lesbian moms got divorced. Dawn slays. Okay, I get it. People find her annoying. I don't care. I don't. Is it because I love Michelle? R.I.P.? Probably. I love her. I wanted to be her so bad as a kid. I wanted to be her or I wanted to date her. I don't know the difference. And Ice Princess, she was my jam. She was a slay bitch as Regina George. Not Regina George. Georgina Sparks. The Gossip Girl version of Regina George. She slays. But Dawn had a very interesting season. Like, I feel like for a little bit they didn't know what to do with Dawn, which sucks. But whenever there was a Dawn focused episode, she killed it. It was very clear that she felt unwanted and kind of ignored and wasn't able to really process what her sister was going through. And how can you at 15, especially, and Buffy's like 19, 20, like they're not that far in age. But like as the 15-year-old, as the child in the situation who just wants to be included because everyone else is included on the slaying stuff except her, and it's like, so I just have to know what's happening and do nothing. I hope they will give Dawn a little bit more in season 7, and I think they will. I think them showing her at the end actually being able to fight and like Buffy being impressed was kind of the sign for us that like they are going to train Dawn and she's going to become more a part of the team, which I think is great because I've been saying it the whole time. I've been saying she cannot be on the edge of this world and not know how to defend herself. It's not realistic. She had her whiny moments, but like she's 15 and that's like the point. She should have them. Like she's 15, she should like have shitty school shit and like want to go out with her friends and then almost get eaten by a fucking vampire. And like I think at the end of the day, we saw Dawn is very attached to the people who took care of her when Buffy was gone, being Willow, Tara, and Spike. Those are the people, even Giles to an extent. Those are the people who took care of her when Buffy was gone. It's very obvious she feels a lot closer to them. And she doesn't get the information, and then people are mean to her for not having the information, and I'm like, okay, whatever. I feel like the stealing storyline was actually done pretty well. Because, like, it's a common storyline, I think, for characters that age in these situations and stuff. But I think they handled it well. I really liked her in the musical episode. She caused the whole, Xander caused the whole musical episode, but Dawn was, like, the focal point of the musical episode of getting kidnapped and stuff. We got that sick-ass walk through the fire song because of her. She's Slay Queen. I think she is higher because of who the actress is, and I'm okay with admitting I have a bias. I have one. I'm also very excited to see where Dawn goes in season 7 with the training and everything. I also think she's Buffy's, like, she's her family. Also, she ships Willow and Tara as much as I do. And I respect her for that. Giles, where do I put him? Because he was barely in the fucking season. Like, if I actually think about Giles this season, right? He's there when they bring Buffy back. He's there for Buffy. I like that. He's mad at Willow. He leaves. He comes back at the end. Like, he's in, like, not that much of the season, so there isn't that much to think about. He's basically there. He's like, wow, Buffy, you're not handling coming back from the dead well. I should leave. So you can figure it out. And it's like, what do you mean you should leave? Are you crazy? They're babies. I know they think they're adults, but they're babies. I don't agree with the decision. I haven't looked it up to see if the actor, like, was doing something else. But I was not impressed. I was not impressed, Giles. Not impressed with the choice of Giles being gone. Maybe they just thought him being there would, like, solve all the problems, which I don't think it would have. But, I mean, I still love Giles, but did I love him in this season, right? Like, I can't include, like, how much I loved him before. I have to be like, this season, did I love Giles? And it's like, when he was there, I did? But he was barely there, so are we just cool? I think I still love him. I love when he showed up. I cried when I thought he was gonna die. I was very sad. I think Giles can go there. I'll give him that, but, like, where the fuck were you, bro? There's nothing to talk about him this season because he wasn't fucking in it. He just shows up at the end and is like, yeah, these witches you guys have never heard of give me powers to help me stop Willow. And then he doesn't stop Willow. He just gives her magic that helps Xander stop Willow. And you're like, cool. Willow's friend, we're cool. I like her. I loved when she was like, you know what, I have Dawn's back because no one else fucking does. Even if the way she did it maybe wasn't right. Locking them all in that birthday party forever. But she was funny. I think she was the first time that I realized, there was gonna be more to this wedding, storyline for Xander and Anya that could be interesting. Being that she kind of was talking to Anya and being like, does he even like you for you? Or, like, does he demand you become, like, human and act human and do all the human things? And it was actually a really interesting thought, and you could see it resonate, I think, with Anya. Me realizing I got a new ad blocker and left the things up there. Whoops, free ad for them, I guess, because look, it worked. No ads. But yeah, it was the first time I was like, wait, this storyline might get interesting if Anya wants to lean in more to her demon side. And, like, Xander, like, obviously has huge problems with demons. And it's like, but Anya, maybe she's human now, but she was a demon for most of the majority of her life. Like, and that kind of clash made their story more interesting, in my opinion, than it was before. Jonathan, I guess we're cool. Out of all the nerds, if I had to pick one nerd to put above, like, here, I also don't really want Jonathan back. But we're cool. Maybe you're here. Like, Jonathan, I appreciated that he stood up to Warren. I'll put him here. We're cool. Because he saved Buffy's life by telling her about the orbs. When Andrew was threatening Xander and Dawn, he was on their side. He did try to help. He kind of wussed out at the end and ran to Mexico with the other guy, which I was not impressed with. But he kind of went from, we're gonna face consequences to, whoops, let's go, which I didn't love, because I was actually like, oh, that's awesome that they're having Jonathan grow enough and, like, showing that you should take responsibility for your actions. And then he ran away anyway, and I was like, okay, whatever. I think I would have liked it more if they had him, like, fully just, like, go to prison and accept, like, his time or whatever. But we're cool because he helped out in the end. You're okay, Jonathan. But for most of the season, I did think you were a wussy little baby because it was very clear you were just following the other two. And like, just not. No, I'm remembering how he talked about women. All right, you did your job. No, I'm remembering the beginning of the season and how he talked about women. No, Jonathan, you had female friends. Buffy and Willow were kind of your friends in high school. No, I'm mad at you. I don't care. I didn't need the episode. Okay? The only good that came out of that episode was, like, some Buffy Spike drama. And, like, Buffy realizing that maybe she needed to get better. And, no. No, I don't need it. It was one episode. He didn't need to be there. The person they cast to be his wife couldn't act either. It was a whole thing. I had no interest in it. I don't want to see them again. Leave. Same goes for this guy. He's dead. We're never going to see him again. But he was creepy as hell. The actor did a great job being creepy as hell and making me hate him. But, like, he was just, like, a pedophile wizard. Like, I don't... whatever. I'm not even getting into him. I'm saving characters I have a lot to say about. Warren, you did your job. No, Warren, I'll give you that. You were a piece of shit. And that was your job. You're never coming back because you died, so I won't put you in never come back. Like, if I wanted one of the nerds to come back as a villain, Warren is the most interesting one because he's actually, like, trying, but he's not good at it. He's not. But, like, he was, like, I felt like, okay, Warren is meant to be doing these things, while sometimes, like, the Andrew would be annoying, and it's like, yeah, whatever. It's like, okay, Andrew, whatever. I don't know. It just wasn't, I was like, Warren, you pull off me hating you. I think the gun thing being the biggest one, where I was like, he is a sad little man, and he would just go get a gun and try to shoot them. Which led to the big overarching ending conflict. I don't know who to talk about next. I have a lot to say. I'm gonna wanna cry. Put my Slay Queen where she deserves to be. That she didn't deserve this. Okay? I get it's the early 2000s. You don't have to bury the gays. Okay? You don't have to do that to her. Tara didn't deserve this, okay? She didn't deserve any of the treatment she got this season. What did she do? Her friend / her girlfriend's best friend dies. She moves in to the home to take care of her little sister. Okay? She moves in to take care of her little sister. She's trying her best. She's just trying to be supportive of her girlfriend. They bring their friend back. Their friend is depressed as hell, but can Tara help with that? No, because she's dealing with the fact that Willow is using magic in a bad way, and she's like, you're starting to freak me out. Then, Willow fucks with her brain, okay? Her girlfriend, who she loves, deletes her memories so she can't be mad at her. She finds out, gets pissed, is like, you need to, like, not use magic for, what did she say, 7 days, and we can work on fixing this? And Willow's like, yeah, for sure. And then she does it again. Almost gets them all killed. Tara leaves. She, like, feels horrible because she's, like, adopted Dawn at this point. And she's like, I'm sorry you have to be from a broken home again. Then the writers do her fucking dirty and barely have her in the fucking show. Unless it relates to, like, Willow using her as I'm sad she's my ex. Or Buffy using her as a friend, which I liked, but they didn't do it enough to make it feel purposeful. It more felt like they were just like, ooh, we need a character that isn't Xander or Willow for Buffy to tell something to. Oh, Tara, you can be in the episode now. And it just, I was like, I kind of wish they had taken the chance of her being separated from Willow to develop her character a little more. And they didn't. And it pissed me off. She even saves their asses when Buffy goes evil family annihilator mode. She helps to save them. Not that they seem that grateful. Her and Willow just kind of like, Tara just like off screen gets like over it. Like, we don't get to actually see her work through it or have a conversation with Willow. that is them pushing forward, and said she's like just over it and they're happy and in love again. And I'll take it because I wanted them to be. And then they shoot her and kill her. And it's truly like some of the characters they allow to like grow and be like characters, and some of the characters they use as like pieces, and it feels like Tara kind of got that treatment, and I don't love that, because I love the character and I'm like, there's so much there, especially when they explored like her family history, and like she's able to use magic and not to a level that's unhealthy. And I was really interested to see how her character would grow, because I was like, well, Willow's not going to use magic anymore. They must be shifting Willow back to, like, the techie person, because, like, they don't want to have two magic people and no techie guy. So Willow will be the techie person again, and Tara will be our magic person, because she can actually handle it and, like, not be addicted. And then they were like, no, die. And I was very upset. It made me very upset. But, like, I still love the character of Tara. I feel like every time she was on screen, I was rooting for her. Like, I was on her side in pretty much every conflict she was in, I think. I just really liked her character. I don't know where her cat went. That's kind of scary. I don't know where that fucking kitten went. We never saw it again. But it just made me a little sad that I felt like her character could have been given so much more, and it wasn't. But she still slays. I don't know, which one do we talk about first? I'm still gonna put Willow and Slay. You knew she was going there. Like, people would be like, she was evil. I don't care. She was Slay. She was Slay while she was evil. Black hair, all black outfit, riding on top of a fucking semi-truck. Slay. Okay, she killed it. What do you want? It's not her fault that she slays. Was she Slay when she put that spell on Tara and almost crashed on into a wall? No, that was her negative Slay time, but that was a small amount of time in the season. And I love her, so she gets away with it. No, I think overall, Willow had a good start to the season. The slow magic build-up was good. And it was nice to see her, like, hit rock bottom and, like, actually try to be better. And to use some of that techie stuff we haven't seen her really use in a long time. It was a fun skill that she had that they kind of forgot about in favor of magic. And they did a good writing of that, of being like, yeah, Willow forgot about it too, because she was so obsessed with magic. I kind of thought I joked and, like, was like, oh, maybe Willow's magic addiction is going to be, like, the big bad, right? And I was like, no, I guess it's these fucking nerds. And then, the ending, like, 4 episodes, I was like, it is her. Oh my god, my jaw hurts today. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But I think it was awesome. Like, they did a great job, and it sets her character up for a really interesting season 7 of, like, dealing with what she did, and grieving Tara, and I think I'm very excited to see how they handle that. I don't know if I 100% after this season trust them to handle it amazing, but I am still interested to see how they do it. Willow, a lot of her storyline this season was focused on addiction and recovering from addiction and, like, very strong emotions. I think she went through a lot this season as well, but I think it was done a little better. Like, she really felt like a main character this season, and Willow has for, I think, a couple of seasons now, where Xander can still sometimes fall into the support role. It has felt like Buffy and Willow are kind of the main characters for a while, and I don't hate that. I like that, because they're 2 of my favorites. But really, outside of, like, the magic and her romantic relationship, she didn't have too much. I still like Willow, so what are you gonna do about it? There were times where she was pushing me to be like, Willow, please stop, but, like, I still was rooting for her to get past it and get better each time. It wasn't like a character where I was like, I don't care what happens to you now, like, you've gone so far that I can't forgive. And I know that they're all like, oh my god, how will she live with herself for killing Warren? It's like, I would go to Lush and buy a bath bomb and take a bath, and I would feel better about it, because Warren sucked. Okay. Do we go with the Savior or Spike? It's like, who do you want me to rip into first? And it sucks because I liked Spike. So he had grown on me so much this season, and this is really hard. But this is a very serious character development. To go from like a anti-hero, I'll say, who is kind of got some weirdo tendencies and like, but you're like, is that a vampire thing? Is that not having a soul thing? Like, it is a thing where, like, with the vampires, you're kind of like, right, Spike is evil and he is a bad guy. And, like, but they kind of turned him into an anti-hero. Where, yes, he's not a good guy, but he's fighting for the good guys and he's making the good decisions. And, like, those characters are really interesting to me. I think they're always really interesting when you have, like, someone who is doing the good thing, but they're still kind of an asshole. And maybe they're doing it for a selfish reason. I think those characters are really interesting. I find Spike really interesting. And it's just that episode is sticking in my fucking brain so hard. And it's not like you can just be like, well, ignore that, because, like, you can't. Like, they just changed fundamentally how I saw Spike as a character. And it's very hard. I feel like he needs his own, like, category, because we're not cool. We're not cool after what you fucking did, bro. But it's not you just did your job. Like, at the same time, it's, like, I need, like, can I add another thing? I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can add row below. Not there. That's not where I want it. I want it, there. This row is called Why Did the Writers Do That to You? And it's just for Spike. Because, I don't know. We're not cool. I'm not cool with his character right now. I don't want them to live happily ever after, because he's a sexual predator now. Like, it's a level that was so graphic and disturbing. It is meant for me not to like him anymore. It has to be. And, like, you can't expect someone to like him after that. It's weird. I don't get it. I don't get why they kind of, like, played it off in some ways. Like, for Buffy, we saw it was still affecting her, and Xander was taking it seriously until he threw it in Dawn's face. We'll get there. But, like, when they were showing Spike doing all these things, and it was like, haha, it's Spike doing all these missions and stuff. What is he doing? And it's like, I don't care. Get him off the show. If, like, he's going to be like that, like, I just don't think I understand the choice. Because it doesn't feel like they're turning, like, Spike's not going to be the big bad of season 7, I don't think. Right? Like, if they were like, no, Spike, evil. Gonna get the chip out. Gonna be the big bad of season 7. Like, you fell for his trick of, like, thinking he's in love with Buffy, but it's not love, it's obsession, and it got dark like angels or something. That would be something. That would be something, right? If, like, they had Spike grow on us slowly, but he's still showing these signs of he doesn't remember, he doesn't have a soul, and, like, this stuff, and it's, like, building up into obsession over love, and, like, then it breaks when she truly cuts it off, and then he becomes this big bad. Fine. But it does not feel like he's going to be a big bad in the next season because they gave him his soul back. And to me, what was the point of turning him into this monster again? To a monster that, when we watch a vampire show, yes, vampires are monsters, but, like, it's fun, it's, like, this stuff, but, like, that is a different kind of real-life monster that many people have dealt with, and it's not forgivable. It's trauma. And it just feels like they were trying, and it felt like they took it seriously in the moment, and then we're trying to put it on the level of, oh, you know, Spike, no soul. And it's like, no. I don't know what I think. Most of the people I've talked about it were like, yeah, I don't know why the fuck they did that. And, like, if the people who love your show walk away being like, why did you do that to the character? That's on you. You fucked up because you obviously led them to believe a character arc of one thing and then did something for shock value that destroyed all that work and made the audience confused and not trust you. And not confused in like a, oh my god, I didn't see that coming way, but confused in like, what was the point of that way? And that's not a good thing. I think the How I Met Your Mother people did the same thing with the finale. You were like, what was the point of a season of Ted letting go of Robin and showing us that Robin and Barney belong together to just have her end up with Ted? It's one of those things where you're like, what was the point then? Like, you just wasted my time, right? Like, you wasted my time building Spike into this, like, funny anti-hero guy who Buffy is kind of attracted to, and he's kind of a bad boy, but we shouldn't be attracted to him because he doesn't have a soul. And it's like, that's very vampire show, very, yeah, we get it. To just go, no, he's horrible. You really shouldn't. And it's like, then why? Because I don't think it's going to have a payoff that's satisfying. I really don't. And maybe I'll be proved wrong in season 7, and it will be a really satisfying payoff. But there's something in me that's telling me it's not going to be. But we'll see. And it's just, there's a lot about Spike and the decisions they made about him that just have me like, I don't know. I don't fucking know, Xander. I don't fucking know where to put him. I get it. There's some of you who really like him. There are. It's not me. It'll never be me. Like, it's like, what do I give him for saving the world? But, like, him saving the world was, like, the least interesting part of that episode. Like, when you're the person who's saving the world, and that's the least interesting part of the episode. Like, I care about what all the other characters are going through. I'm deciding if we're cool. Or if Xander just, like, did what he was supposed to do this season, and, like, I'm just never gonna like him. Because I don't know if we are. I don't think we're... Dude, this might cause fights. People gonna be mad at me. I don't know. Whatever. I don't like the character anymore. I don't. He was boring in the beginning. He was lying to Anya for months, and every time I was just like, this is stupid, just fucking talk to her. And that pissed me off. Then he left Anya at the fucking altar. And I was like, you shouldn't get married if you don't want to get married. But you had so much time to tell her. That's so shitty. Then when he finds out that Anya, like, slept with Spike. Well, no, first he's like, yeah, I left her at the altar, but we're still gonna be together. And I'm like, in what fucking world do you think she wants to be with you right now? Are you crazy? And then he finds out she slept with Spike, and at the same time, he finds out that Buffy slept with Spike. And I'm like, I understand being upset. I understand he left her at the altar, but I get that feelings don't just go away. He still loves her in his own way, and I get why he would be upset she slept with Spike. He acts more upset that Buffy slept with Spike. And it's fucking crazy. I was like, why are they doing this? And like, I'm not putting it, why did the writers do that to you? Because it's not out of nowhere. It's like, it's been there. And I have pointed it out, and I have not liked the choice. Xander's decisions this season feel on purpose. They don't feel out of nowhere. They feel like the writers are writing him, and they think he's like this guy you're cheering for. And I'm like, no, he's kind of just an asshole. And, like, he's kind of just in the friend group because, like, he was in the friend group in high school when he didn't suck ass. At least not as badly. Like, it feels like Xander hasn't grown in some ways. And, like, what was charming or goofy or excusable in a 17-year-old boy is not in a 20-year-old man. Right? Like, I joke about them still being babies, but you are older. Like, you almost got married. Like, grow up a little bit here. And he has in the way of, like, his job, but then the rest of the time I'm like, Xander, what the fuck? He also didn't talk about punching Nazis as much, which I miss. There's also, he is then, like, really fucking mean to Buffy. Until he sees that Spike attacked her. And then I will give him, I think he handled that part where he found her really, really well. And, like, being there for her, I will give Xander's character that. But he completely gets rid of the goodwill I had for him from that by throwing Buffy's sexual assault in her sister's face in the middle of, like, the end of the world. Like, Willow their friend has gone evil, is attacking them, just talked about destroying Dawn, and Dawn is upset and thinking about Spike. She does not know about the assault. Remember, Buffy has not told anyone. Xander only knows because he showed up in that moment. And someone else's sexual assault is not a gotcha for you to use on a 15-year-old girl who's scared and upset. And it's like, I get it, we're not all perfect, but that was just like, ew. And then there was also him, like, it became very clear to me that Xander was going to be, like, saving the day. There was Giles saying that no supernatural creature could stop her. There was the times where Xander kept talking about how he knows he's not the hero, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I get it. Xander's going to be the hero, whatever. It's fine, whatever. He's not my favorite character. I don't care. And then I thought him talking to Willow and being like, I'm going to still love you no matter what, was great. I really liked that scene, their friendship. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of their friendship in a while. And it was nice to see that. But overall, I feel like most of the time I was either rolling my eyes at Xander, going, Xander, what the fuck? And, like, I have to be honest that I just, like, I don't know. Anya's slay to me now, and Xander sucks. I'm like, Anya could do so much fucking better. But I do think they're going to make them fall back in love. I do. I think that's where that's going. But, like, thanks for saving the world. You were a good friend in that one episode. The rest of the time, I guess you were there. But it's still, I still kind of feel like Anya, like, the relationship breaking up propelled Anya to become this more interesting character and kind of just made Xander more depressing. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just don't vibe with him at all. I feel like he's supposed to be comedic relief, but he just pisses me off. And maybe I'm being too harsh, but, like, we're in a tier list video and you gotta have some spicy takes or it's boring. But I also don't think I hide that I don't like Xander. So if you're still watching this and you're like, I can't believe she doesn't like Xander. What do you want me to do? Okay? I don't like him. I don't like him. I'm not going to pretend to like him. I'm going to tell you guys the truth about how I feel. You don't have to agree with me. Tell me in the comments why you think Xander was slay this season if you do. But I was just like, men. Men! Look, maybe you look at this and you go, men. Giles is up top. What do you want from me? He was barely in the season. Which is probably not a great showing for y'all. But I stand by what I said. I'm excited. This should be coming out Monday if you're watching it the day it comes out. I think Slay Alive Guide, we're starting with Buffy Season 7 on tomorrow, Tuesday. So I hope you're excited to watch Season 7 with me. I can't believe we're going to finish. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can vote on the polls for the show that will replace Buffy. I think I'm going to look if Saturday or Tuesday videos do better, and probably shove Angel into one of them and a new show into another. I'm not going to do 2 Angels a week till we finish Angel, just because a lot of you Buffy fans don't enjoy Angel, so you probably want a different show. Basically, I think the poll right now is going to be Twilight Zone, Yellow Jackets, Firefly, Breaking Bad. I'm going to put those 4 shows on a poll so you guys can vote on which show you want me to react to on the channel. We'll go with the one that gets the most votes that you guys want to see. Those are shows that have been recommended to me, except for Yellow Jackets, which I just kind of want to watch, and I'm going to throw it on there just in case. But we will see what happens. I hope you enjoyed this. And don't forget, if you want early access, you want to watch Buffy Season 7 with me right now, the first, 4 episodes, membership on YouTube or Patreon, linked in the description. I hope, either way, that I will see you next time.